Last year, I showed you how to navigate São Paulo's public transit. It's a massive system that moves 7 million people every day. But there was one catch. As a foreigner, cash was your only option. Since then, a lot has changed. It's January 2026, and I'm back in the largest city in the Western Hemisphere. Does the new contactless system finally work for visitors? Or are there more surprises? Today, we're testing the new credit card gates, flying over the city on the largest monorail in the Americas, and discovering what truly makes this network one of the best in the world. Let's go! I just landed an hour ago, and I'm already at the airport station. There are about a dozen turnstiles in front of me, and I've got my Canadian Visa card in hand. Let's see if this works. Just as I was about to tap, a kind passenger stopped me and pointed toward the far side of the gates. So let me walk over there. Immediately, you can see that these two turnstiles are different. They have this prominent contactless payment symbol on the front. Now, the moment of truth. Success! For a transit nerd like me, this is a historic moment. Using an international card here was impossible just a year ago. But if that passenger hadn't stopped me, I would have missed it entirely. That was my first lesson. Unlike London or New York, where every gate takes credit cards, in São Paulo, you have to look for the specific turnstiles marked with the contactless symbol. You can also keep an eye on the floor. There are round stickers leading you to the right gate. It's not just physical cards either. I spent a week testing Apple Wallet with my Canadian MasterCard and Visa, and they all worked perfectly. But don't ditch your cash just yet. The rollout is still in progress, and having some cash in your pocket might actually save your day. I learned this the hard way at Villacaisi station. I saw the turnstiles, but no contactless logo. I tried the top machines, but they wouldn't accept my international cards. For a second, I actually panicked. I thought I was stranded. After a few quick chats with various AI bots, I realized there had to be a ticket booth somewhere. I just hadn't found it yet. So I headed across the bridge to the opposite platform. And sure enough, there was this staffed booth. The lesson? At smaller CPTM stations, the ticket booth might only be on one side of the tracks. And my advice is to plan ahead. If you're heading to a smaller station, buy your return ticket at a larger hub where the booths are easier to find. After all, knowing you won't end up stranded 20 kilometers from your hotel is a great feeling. If you are wondering how to buy those tickets with cash, please check out my previous São Paulo guide for the full walkthrough. With the tickets sorted, I'm heading to the top of my list. Line 15 Silver. This is the largest monorail system in the Americas. The trains run in 7-car sets and can carry up to 1,000 passengers at a time.
Olá, passageiros. Sejam bem-vindos. O metrô de São Paulo deseja a todos uma boa viagem.
Because the entire line is elevated, It offers a real perspective on the city. And since the system is completely driverless, you can stand at the very front or back window. As we head into the east zone, the scenery shifts from modern high-rises to the sprawling high-density residential heart of the region. For the people living here, this line is a total game changer. What used to be a grueling 2-hour bus ride into the center has been cut down to just 15 minutes. By the end of the trip, it was clear just how well integrated the system really is. I started at a train of Masp on line 2 and traveled all the way to Villa Kodach, where I transferred directly to the monorail. The transfer itself was straightforward. There were no additional turnstiles and no extra charge. You simply follow the signs and walk across to the next line. I rode the monorail all the way to the final terminal at Jardin Colonial, watched the driverless train pull ahead and turn around, and then boarded the same train for the return journey. In total, I spent about 2 hours in the transit system and traveled roughly 50 kilometers. The cost for that entire trip? A single fare of just 5 reais and 40 cents. That level of affordability and integration is impressive for a city of this scale. But I also paid close attention to how easy it is for a foreigner to navigate. I traveled on 8 different lines during my stay, and bilingual guidance was everywhere. From the commuter rails to the subway, automated announcements were consistently provided in Portuguese and English.
Exit on the left side.
Every time I visit São Paulo, I'm struck by just how spotless the transit system is. From the station platforms to the train cars, everything feels incredibly well maintained. That's no small feat when you consider this network moves nearly 7 million people every single day. The data backs this up. When you look at the satisfaction scores from international benchmarking groups, São Paulo's Line 4 has maintained a 94% approval rating for cleanliness. To put that in perspective, the New York MTA often struggles to even break 60%. But for me, the real magic goes beyond the stats. We often see transit as just steel and tracks, but it's actually a city's cultural emotion. It's the life lived between the stations.